Welcome. This is the first installment of what we plan to be a monthly installment of the Seven Hills Resident Spotlight. And we have our first honoree tonight, Joann Rencz. Joann, we'll start with your name.
Okay.
Just learned about this as we were talking off camera, that although Joann's known as Joann Rencz around here at the Rec Center, she has a different name when it comes to her artwork.
It's Giovannitti. Joann Giovannitti Rencz. And it's a Italian last name, obviously, right? And I went to my father's side, who was a Giovannitti, to Orentino, Italy this past spring. And I learned while I was there that I come from a long line of artists, dating back to Renaissance. So that was a really beautiful surprise.
Wow. You have some pieces here we'll get to in a minute, but
Okay.
why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I grew up in East Side, Collinwood, and grew up in an Italian neighborhood. Had a great time. It was very interesting, learned a lot. Everybody knew everybody, and it was really a nice way to grow up. But from there, I stayed in Cleveland all my life. So I grew up in Cleveland. All my schooling was in Cleveland. From Collinwood High School, I went to Cooper School of Art, which was downtown, which no longer exists. From Cooper School of Art, I went to the Higby Company, which doesn't no longer exist. So it's like one thing after another. But I just stayed in Cleveland, and from there, I stayed there for about 10 years, and then I was a visual merchandiser. So when the movie came, the Christmas Story came, I was working at the store at that time, but I'm not in the movie. Not in the movie because it was a long story. But the main floor was my floor. I was a visual merchandiser, and that I would stare at that slide every morning, and I'm like, I knew security was watching me, so I never did it. I should have.
We have a leg lamp in our house.
I know. Well, one cool thing that came out of Higby's that was really cool, I was a elf for Mr. Jingling.
Oh, yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Jingling.
Mr. Jingling. So
Very
that was
well.
fun. And I loved him ever since I was growing up, to be an elf with him for 1 year. Well, not 1 year, but it was for a special event
Sure.
at the Higby Company. That was
Cleveland
pretty cool.
legend.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
really cool. So then from there I started to I got married, have children.
So the artwork, I've been hearing is taking off for you.
Yeah, it is.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've always done art. I've never stopped doing art. I'm also a teaching artist. So right when the kids were oldest was 4, that's when I started to teach children. I was teaching them at Independence Art Guild and the Brecksville Center for the Arts. So I was always very local and teaching. And then it just grew to be a very large, kind of side career. And then I currently teach. I'm on the faculty of the Bay Arts in Bay Village, and I'm also a teaching artist at the Cleveland Museum of Art.
Oh, wow.
I've been there for more than 10 years.
Busy.
And and then I'm here as well. But the art is taking off. I won the first People's Choice Award at Gallery Plus in 78th Street. Thank you. 78th Street Galleries. I was able to show there for 3 months, and it was a very successful 3-month show. And then periodically, it's like every season I'm in a show and I'm doing something different. I just got done having a show in Bay Village in the Bay Arts, one of their galleries there, that was a very successful show too.
Right. You have a couple pieces here, I see.
I do. I have a couple of pieces. I am a painter, abstract painter. I paint mostly in acrylics, but I've been adding some multimedia to it too. So some charcoal is starting to introduce its way through. This piece right here is called Love, and if you look at it, it's like a view of an internal heart. On the side there, it looks like a curtain. It's like a curtain pulled over to have a view of that heart. So that's kind of what's happening here. It's a heart exposed, basically. This one right here is called Grace. In the Bible, it'll have like numbers. Numbers reflect different things in the Bible, and so the number 5 happens to be the number of grace. It's a number 4, grace. Like 7, heaven. 5 is grace, and that's how I that's how I pictured this one, or
Sure.
that's where my inspiration came from. And this has some charcoal in it too. Very bold colors. Some of the works don't have pretty any color at all. It'll just be like a gray variation, some different values of gray and some charcoal. But they vary, they change.
Yeah, and when you look at these, I guess when people look at your artwork, their comments are probably pretty widely varied, I would say, because the way you can interpret this. I mean, I looked at it and right away I thought of Italy. And I'm sure that may have not been on your mind when you painted it, but you get a lot of different interpretations of your art.
You do, and that's the beauty of it, really. I'm painting a painting. No matter what I'm painting, I am inspired by something. It's usually something from the Bible. That's where most of my inspiration comes from. And then that's my inspiration. I will place that onto the canvas or whatever it is. The beauty of that is that when people view it, they bring their own story. And you want the freedom of that. You want the freedom of them, like, oh, I see this and that, or like what you just said, that's bringing your own story into it. Creating a relationship with the piece, basically. You really want that freedom. You want people to really be into your work. The work is healing and it's full of love. All of them are. There's nothing like negative in the work that I create.
Right.
It's really a lot about love and truth and peace.
Speaking of love, you've been here quite a while in Seven Hills with your family, right?
Yes, definitely. Been here, I think I'm going on 34 years.
And we talked a lot about the unbelievable quality of people from Seven Hills, and Hall of Fame members, world-renowned artists, and so we really want to continue to expand recognition about all our residents, and you certainly fall in line with that. You also are well-known here at the Rencz Center.
Yes.
You teach yoga.
I teach yoga, silver sneakers, and chair yoga. And
So you're really busy.
Yeah. I'm too busy.
When do you sleep?
I sleep very well. And I was a camp director here for about 10 years too, but I still do camps. So I'm organizing camps. I'm not necessarily with the children, but I'm organizing that camp so it runs smoothly for the 10 weeks that we have summer camp and spring camp and Christmas camp. So spring camp is coming.
Great. So I'm sure you pull inspiration from your family and from your experiences here in Seven Hills. Is there any particular quote that inspires you, or quotes?
Well, one thing that always kind of gets me excited is what that first sentence in the Bible, Genesis 1:1. It says, God created the heavens and the earth. So art is right there, right in the beginning, right there, just telling you right there, it's created. The creation started right at the beginning. And so, God has gifted me with just a little bit of that creativity that I'm able to share that gift with others. So that's really important to me. And then also there's a quote from Pablo Picasso, every child is an artist. The problem is to stay an artist as we grow. Paraphrasing. But basically that's it. You really want to keep that childlike spirit as we age, as we grow old, and as we go through the good and the bad of life. You know what I mean? You really want to keep that childlike spirit.
Sure. So what suggestions would you give others, not only in art, but in anything, in their pursuit of excellence as we continue to recognize people for their excellence? What suggestions would you give?
I would just tell them to do what they love. I mean, when art ever since I was a child, it was just something that came very natural to me, and it was in my play too. So sometimes I think we got to look really deep and see really what are we made of, why are we here, how was I created, what am I supposed to do, and I think what you love eventually will come out, and then from there, and no matter what you're pursuing as far as your career goes, working hard, being true, staying in the truth, and just being, good at what you do, and study, read, be intelligent, make smart decisions, problem-solving skills, and just do what you love. That's the most important.
Sure.
Mhm.
Great advice. So what we're going to look to do is we're going to have these interviews on the Seven Hills Hall of Fame website, as well as the City of Seven Hills website, so you can check them out there. And for each guest, we're going to give a very coveted parting gift, this Seven Hills Hall of Fame t-shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts to wear, and Joann will be getting one of these. And we thank you so much for joining us this evening,
Thank you.
Joann. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I
You're our
appreciate it.
first winner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great evening.